Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Calgard Gymnasium for Game 1 of 4 taking place on this court this weekend between Trinity and the visiting Schreiner University Mountaineers. Of course, we start with the women's side before moving on to the men's later on tonight, and then the same order tomorrow afternoon. It's an exciting one. It's second against fourth in the SCAC, with the visitors in second place in what has been a very successful season for them so far. Starting for Coach Davidson and the Mountaineers, Oni Budu, Gabby Ibarra, Jocelyn Hernandez, Zara Cross, and senior center Sydney Williams leading the conference in rebounding. And it is a very similar starting five to what we've seen all season for Trinity, with Jordan Rudd, Emily Daniel, Ashlyn Milton, Haley Coleman, and Julia Ackerman. And Trinity going to control the tip right away. Chance for Daniel to get the early lead, and she does. Emily Daniel on the board early for Trinity, 2-0, straight from the tip-off. It's going to be a big challenge for Schreiner, who, despite their 5-1 record, have yet to play any other team in the top four. They're able to answer straight away with a bucket of their own up the other end. So they're standing at 5-1 coming into this game. They've been 3-1 at home in Kerrville, 2-0 on their travels so far in what's obviously a very shortened season. Daniel pulls for three, too strong, off the backboard. Ackerman controls the offensive rebound. Mountaineers finished fifth in the conference last year, where the fourth seed, of course, was St. Thomas, ineligible for postseason play, as Coleman looks to scoop and score and foul. She's headed to the line. And they've improved this season, what is Coach Davidson's fourth season in charge, facing their biggest challenge of the season so far tonight. Coleman's first free throw rolls off the front rim and in, and Trinity regains the lead. Second free throw is perfect, and that doubles the early Trinity advantage. Full court pressure on from the Tigers. They've been able to exploit teams' weaknesses so often here in this gym. This time, though, it's Schreiner able to break the press. Will it result in an easy 2 points? It should, and it does. Sydney Williams knocks it down. 4 points for her early on. You see the speed here from Jordan Rudd, looking to push it. And Daniel for three, too strong from the corner. She can't add to her early bucket with 3 points there. Two straight misses for the senior. And it'll be Trinity ball from underneath the basket. Trinity comes into this game fourth in the conference, level with Austin College with a 5-2 record, and having beat Austin College already. Of course, with no NCAA tournament in basketball this year, unfortunately, as Coleman pulls from the elbow, no good, controls the offensive rebound, though, and Jordan Rudd, coming off a career high in points, knocks down her first shot of the game. So Trinity very much in contention to host a playoff game, which would be next Friday. The top four seeds in the conference will host in the first round, and then from there on, the higher seed will host. No single location format as we usually do for conference tournaments with COVID concerns, and no postseason schedule to worry about. They decided to stretch it out over 3 match days. It should be fun to have at least one playoff game here, we hope. Coleman hits the deck. Awkward fall there for her, and taking advantage is Zara Cross, the sophomore out of Austin, Texas. Pulls this game back even. Cross-court pass from Rudd, finds Ackerman. And Milton finds Coleman, looks for the mid-range J. No good. Shooting over the top of her defender there, and Zara Cross will bring it forward for the Mountaineers. Mountaineers in the visiting maroon today. Of course, Trinity accustomed to wearing that color themselves, as the Mountaineers regain the lead through Jocelyn Hernandez three. Trinity looking to push it and up the tempo offensively. Milton wanted the three. Good defending that time from Hernandez. That time a foul called on Ibarra. Her first foul. Second on Schreiner so far. Ball's inbounded to Ackerman. Coleman in the lane. Looks to make a nice post move there and finishes on the left hand. Coleman, who is leading the SCAC in field goal percentage at almost 60%, 58.7 on the season, and she was perfect there. Also active at the defensive end, gets the steal. Trinity want to turn it into points, currently down 1. Coleman, baseline, kicks it to Milton. Long three is up, and it's just off to the left. But again, Coleman able to control the offensive rebound. Daniel gets to her spot on the elbow. Shot off to the right, and Trinity will track back as Zara Cross brings it clear for the Mountaineers. Hernandez into Williams in the post. Turns and flips it towards the basket. Solid defense that time from Coleman. And the shot's no good. Step back three for Rudd. Off to the left. Tiger shooting from the outside so far. Fruitless. And that is a strong move to the basket from Gabby Ibarra, the junior playing in her hometown of San Antonio, Texas. Finishes with the left hand. Pressure up the court, this time from Schreiner, results in an open look for Coleman, and she doesn't miss those very often. Simple right-handed layup for the Tiger junior. 11-10 Schreiner here, just under 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Williams needed to go, and she didn't go in time. So it'll be a 8-second violation and a turnover forced by the Trinity pressure. 10 second, excuse me. Sydney Williams, who committed that violation, almost averaging a double-double on the year, 9 points and almost 12 rebounds a game, leading the conference in boards. So far, that's been Trinity who've controlled, especially the offensive glass. Here's Daniel on the dribble, finds Sam Henry, who just checked in. Swings it to Milton, gets to the bucket, no good. Hernandez trapped in the corner by Daniel, able to escape. Cross, thought about pulling the three, keeps her dribble. Into the post with Williams. And a travel that time called against Onibudu. She put the shot fake up and looked to drive on the right hand. Carly Leong into the game for Trinity, getting more minutes per game as the season goes on. Azalea Pirtle in as well for Schreiner. Here's Coleman again in the post. Drop step and fouled and one. Kind bounce that time for Haley Coleman. And she'll get a chance to make it 3 after this timeout. And we'll take it with them. You're watching the Tiger Network. Trinity with the early lead, 12-11. So Coleman to the line, looking to complete the three-point play. And she's a perfect 3 of 3 from the stripe, and she'll check out, leading scoring in the game for both teams. Kelly Simmons into the game, was able to get double-digit rebounds last time out against Austin College in just 17 minutes. Henry called for a foul for getting a little too close there in the backcourt trap. Coach Hill, the very audible what? Not convinced by the referee's decision. Here's Henry again. Some active defending in the backcourt. Thrown ahead, though, by the Mountaineers to break the press. Vieira off the bench. Dribbles to her right, working against Jordan Rudd. Milton tried to intercept the pass. They get it down low, and it's going to be an and one opportunity for Schreiner to answer. Oni Budu finishing through contact. It's been back and forth here early on. A chance for Schreiner to regain the lead. And Budu also able to knock down the free throw. Maggie Shipley checks in for Coach Hill. So the backcourt of Henry and Rudd with Leong, Simmons, and Shipley, who thought about pulling the three in her first involvement there off the bench. Instead, brings it back out. Simmons. Bounce pass down low for Shipley, who kicks it out to Jordan Rudd, who's true from three. She continues what has been her career high in field goal percentage, fourth in the SCAC. We mentioned Haley Coleman leading the conference. Jordan Rudd fourth with 52%, as Trinity able to intercept the pass, throws it ahead to Shipley, should be 2 points, and it is with the left hand. The Schreiner bench at the moment struggling a little bit to deal with Trinity's pressure. They're going to have to deal with it here, and they do so by taking a timeout. Good energy there on the defensive end for the Tigers, and that forces Coach Samantha Davidson's hand and taking a quick timeout. So in the early goings, Trinity with an 18-14 advantage, led in scoring by Haley Coleman with 9 points and 3 rebounds. Jordan Rudd adding 5, Shipley and Daniel 2 apiece. And for Schreiner, it's been a team effort. Leading scorer is Williams with 4, Budu Hernandez with 3, and Cross and Ibarra with a bucket apiece. So we retake the court here. No changes in the lineup for either team. It was just a timeout to give Schreiner a chance to try and advance this ball before the 10-second violation came in. They are able to get it in play, and good ball movement down low results in an easy bucket for Ariana Folks. Henry to Ackerman, who's back in. Long pass that time, finds Shipley down low, and she makes no mistake. Assist Ackerman, 2 points for Maggie Shipley. Ackerman tried to jump that pass. Henry coming across the cover, but the Mountaineers eventually get it into the offensive end, and that one flicking off the backboard from just about 10 feet from Zara Cross. Trinity lead cut to 2. Leong, catch and shoot from the left wing, no good. The only three-pointer so far for Trinity was made by Jordan Rudd before the timeout. Foul in the backcourt here. It's going to go against Azalea Pirtle.
Foul number 11, Azalea Pirtle,
Trinity 1 for 6 from 3. Schreiner has as many makes and one attempt, 1 of 1 so far for the Mountaineers. Shooting 72% and still trailing, and such has been the Trinity dominance on the boards, and also the turnovers, of course, always an issue for opposition teams coming here to CalGuard Gym. Here's Leong from the left corner. Big skip pass to Ackerman. Here's Leong again, looking to find a teammate. Shipley with the shot fake, kicks it back out for Ackerman. Good ball movement here from Trinity. Single digits on the shot clock. Simmons will pull from the baseline, and no good. Shipley making some heavy contact on the sideline with Alyssa Vieira, and the junior guard draws a foul there. Third team foul in the quarter for Trinity. Quick conversation about the shot clock reset, I believe. Shipley able to get a hand on the inbounds pass, still gets there in the end. Alyssa Vieira dribbling now to her right. Dribble handoff for Hernandez, who goes alone and from the left baseline gets it to fall. Long time on the rim, but it ties up the game either way. Here's Simmons. Give and go with Sam Henry. He's up against the trap here. Eventually the Tigers work it to find an open Julia Ackerman, and it's good. Great work from Sam Henry there to avoid the double team, and the ball movement gave Ackerman all the time she needed to restore the Trinity advantage as we're under 1.5 to go in the first quarter. There's an offensive rebound and second chance points for Azalea Pirtle. Falks missed the initial jumper. Leong drops it off to Henry. He's going to set the Tiger offense in motion here. Double high post action for Coach Hill. Shipley finds herself trapped down low. Is going to have to get the shot up and doesn't get a kind roll off the rim. So a chance for Schreiner to regain the lead here in what's been a back and forth quarter. Vieira has the ball stripped away by Simmons, who's trying to run the court. She's up with Ackerman. Here's the bounce pass to Simmons, and the left-handed layup won't go. Simmons appealing for a foul. Ackerman is called for a foul immediately after. That'll be the fourth foul against Trinity. One more, and the Mountaineers will be shooting free throws as the quarter winds down. Zara Cross comes back in now. And she receives the inbounds pass here. See if Schreiner go quickly, look for a 2-for-1 opportunity potentially. Or if they hold, see how much clock they can use. Cross tries to dribble to her right. Henry in the way. Hernandez with the right hand, finish. And Schreiner may just take the lead here into the quarter break unless Trinity can respond. 16 seconds to do so. Shipley on the right wing. Back to Henry. Leong corrals the pass. Simmons had an open look. Said pass it off to Henry. Goes with the Euro step action and draws the blocking foul. 1.8 to go in the quarter. That foul goes against Sydney Williams. Her second foul already. That's one to look out for as she checks out of the game to avoid any further foul trouble. Henry's first free throw is good. She'll get a chance now to take the lead into the interval. And the junior out of Amarillo, Texas is too strong on the second attempt, and so it'll be all square at 24 apiece between two of the top teams in this year's edition of SCAC women's basketball. We'll be right back with you for the second quarter in just a moment. So both teams in the first quarter with 24 points, but they do it in very different ways. Schreiner shooting 11 of 15 as a team, 73%, and 1 of 1 from 3. Trinity shooting 9 of 21, 6 more attempts, 42% as a team, and 2 of 7 from 3. 4 of 5 from the free throw line, including a perfect 3 of 3 from Haley Coleman. And that leads to the current deadlock that we find ourselves in. Long 3, and the first miss from behind the arc for the Mountaineers comes courtesy of Zara Cross. Starting 5 back into the game for Trinity. Just the one change for the Mountaineers as Williams is in some early foul trouble as Jordan Rudd gets the 10-footer to go. Falks in instead of Williams. And they're looking for Boodoo there on the big switch pass. Bounces out of play. That last make, Jordan Rudd up to 7 points. 3 of 4 shooting early on. Here's Coleman, still leads all scorers. Good pass to find Daniel open in the corner. She just hasn't had it from that spot so far tonight. A couple of air balls from that left corner. Here's Milton from the right. Operating on the dribble, coming inside. Big kick pass to Rudd, finds Coleman underneath, draws the foul. Boodoo can't believe it. Coleman does well, though. I think she got the footwork a little bit wrong and was headed off the court, actually. Drew the contact and now heads to the line. Elena Tate and Azalea Pirtle back into the game for the Mountaineers. Coleman now 4 of 4 from the free throw line. And 5 of 5. What we've seen so far from Schreiner is particularly impressive, shooting 69%, considering they're only shooting 36% on the year. Pretty crazy that they've been able to turn that low of a percentage into a 5-1 record, but they've been astute defensively, leading the SCAC in team defense. Here's Daniel. Again, comes up short, but offensive rebound controlled by Jordan Rudd. Had Ackerman at the top of the key, opted to go for Milton instead. The jumper from the elbow rattles out. And the Mountaineers evade the pressure from Trinity. Able to advance the ball. Coleman gets the steal. I think her second or third of the game already. Rudd looking to go with pace. Hesitation, gets to the rim, throws it up, draws the contact. She'll be headed to the line. Trinity getting free throws here very effectively early on in the game. Not something that they always look to do. On the season, taking about 17 free throws and making 11 for 65%. Already now 6 of 9 after Rudd goes 1 of 2, make it 7 of 10. Rudd just looking to delay Vieira from entering in, and she is called for 10 seconds here. Didn't have a real sense of urgency, Alyssa Vieira. She needed to go quicker. It's the third time the Mountaineers have been called for taking too long in the backcourt. Trinity lead now at 5. Schreiner yet to score in the second quarter. Rudd to Daniel on the left wing. Milton scores up her defender, comes up short, but grabs her own rebound, gets to the cup, and is fouled. Offensive rebounding and free throw shooting helping Trinity to build a second quarter lead at the moment. A couple more subs for Coach Davidson. Zara Cross returns, as does Ariana Falks, first-year forward from Killeen, Texas. Milton's first free throw is perfect. Second one rolls home. Trinity lead is now 7. Pass tipped that time by Rudd, controlled by Daniel. As the early momentum from Schreiner has come to a screeching halt here in the second quarter. Daniel thought about the three, instead drives. Felt the contact. Referee felt it was on the ball. Good handles from Rudd, who then finds Ackerman into the corner for Daniel. Single digits on the shot clock. Daniel absorbing a lot of contact. But again, referee saying it was a clean block. And Trinity will have 5 seconds to get a shot off here. Rudd finds a wide open Ashlyn Milton as the Schreiner defense has a lapse of concentration. And Milton knocks it down. Good execution of the inbounds play to get points there late in the shot clock. Another pass intercepted. Rudd with the fake bounce pass out to Ackerman. Instead goes to Milton. And the Trinity lead is now 11 with an 11-0 run to start the second quarter. That's more like it for Trinity. And Schreiner will take a quick timeout here. We'll be back in just a moment. So the lead for Trinity is 11, and the deficit in turnovers between the two teams is also 11. 11-0. Trinity yet to give the ball up, and Schreiner has done so early and often in their offensive sets against the Trinity full court pressure. Annie Wise into the game for the first time for the Tigers. She's in for Daniel. Everyone else keeps their place on the court for Coach Hill. That ball bobbled underneath by Boodoo and tied up by Coleman. So it'll go over to Trinity. I believe the Tigers on a 12-0 run from the Sam Henry free throw at the end of the first quarter to where we find ourselves now at 35-24. Coleman in the post. Loses it that time, working against Boodoo. Makes amends that time for her mistake at the other end. The runner blocked. Falks no good. Rudd looks ahead, sees Milton. Milton pulls off to the right. And a foul called against Azalea Pirtle, and you can see her reaction. Trinity, I believe, one foul away from shooting free throws now already with 6 minutes to go until halftime. Coleman kicks it to Rudd. Thought about the three, instead dumps it off to Coleman again underneath. Who nearly controlled her own offensive rebound, but The Tigers keep it. Last time they inbounded from under the basket, it was an easy look for Milton that she knocked down from the elbow. See what they draw up here. Just throw it out to Annie Wise. And there's Coleman underneath. The inbounds play working just as Coach Hill would have drawn it up. But the reverse layup no good for the Kansas City, Missouri native. Falks on the dribble. Double team coming from Annie Wise. And Coleman getting a piece of that shot from Pirtle. And now it's Trinity ball. Good team defense so far for the Tigers. Schreiner boasting the best scoring defense in the conference so far this season. Trinity far and away turned the other team over the most, and we've seen that trend today in spades. Here's Coleman once again on the right hand. She's in the double digits now. 13 points on 4 of 8 shooting, 5 of 5 from the free throw line as there's another turnover for the Mountaineers. And Coleman will take a seat. As will Ashlyn Milton. Schreiner still yet to score in the second quarter as we're just about halfway through the frame. They're still shooting 61% as a team, but they've only taken 18 shots to Trinity's 34. And there is the first turnover for the Tigers. Miscommunication between Rudd and Wise. Cross with the bounce pass to Ibarra. Steps back, long two is good. And the Mountaineers continue to shoot the ball with precision. Oh, look at that pass from Ackerman. She's robbed of an assist, but it was a terrific pass with great vision shown by the senior. Just took Simmons a little bit away from the basket. The vision to even see that pass was tremendous. Schreiner inbounds it to Zara Cross. Vieira looks to go in between two Trinity defenders, dumps it off to Cross. Step back from three, no good that time for Unibudu. The Mountaineers now 1 of 3 from behind the arc.
That was number 15, Gabby Ibarra, her second. That is team foul number 5. It'll be 2 shots.
And that is the 5th foul against Schreiner with 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go.
And Henry enters for
Trinity
Trinity.
9 of 11 from the free throw line so far in this game. Get 2 more attempts here. First one off to the left. Sam Henry back in the game for Coach Hill. High arcing free throw from Shipley, no good. She goes 0 for 2 at the line. And Schreiner, now that they've broke the deadlock with the long 2 moments ago, see if they can start to build something offensively here and get back into this game. Strong move to the basket that time by Hernandez. Had her shot tipped. And Schreiner will have 8 to shoot. Looking for a second chance opportunity. Cross to inbound. Pass tipped into the backcourt by Shipley. And the shot clock is down to 1. They're going to have to throw it up here, and they don't do so in time. Ball ends up in the hands of Hernandez as the buzzer goes off. The home team maintaining the double-digit lead that they've built here in the second quarter. Here's Jordan Rudd on the dribble, 8 points so far for her. And she gets that pass through the legs of Vieira. But Ackerman had left her spot. And she'll take her spot now on the Trinity bench as Daniel comes back in. Vieira back to cross to Hernandez. 3 players applying pressure for Trinity. Shipley came up to try and intercept the pass. And it ends up with Oni Budu underneath. She's fouled as she went for the left-handed layup, and she'll head to the line.
Well, number 23, Jordan Rudd, that is her first. That's team foul.
Rudd's first personal foul. And Trinity's first team foul in the quarter, despite how aggressive they've played on defense and how many steals and blocks they've been able to make. Both made at the stripe, and the lead is cut to 9. Henry to Rudd. Back out to Henry. She'll pull for 3. Too strong. Daniel did enough to keep it alive, and we'll see who it was last off of. It'll be Trinity ball. Good work from the senior to keep that play alive. Shipley to inbound. Jordan Rudd to Sam Henry, 25 feet from the basket. Shipley now working against the defender in the low post and spinning and winning underneath. Budu applying the pressure. Shipley spinning to the right hand. Cross. Crosses over to the left hand. Kicks it to Vieira. As the energy coming from the Trinity bench to intimidate the Mountaineers here as Cross pulls for a long 3, no good, off to the left. And the rebound cleared out by Kelly Simmons. Rudd thought about a 3 herself, instead goes to Shipley, who was able to score last trip down the floor, but not this time. Good handles there by Cross to evade the double team from Shipley and Daniel. And the Mountaineers get a look for 3 out of it, but Vieira is too strong. Henry out to Daniel, left wing. Simmons backs down the defender. Flips it up with the left hand. No good. Under 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Sarcross narrowly avoids a backcourt violation there, just stepping over the line in time. I'm sure it was more under control than it looked. Ibarra against the much shorter Sam Henry, shoots over the top of Jordan Rudd after the switch. And Henry going to throw it ahead to Simmons. This could be 2 points for Trinity in transition. And that wasn't an easy finish for Simmons. Got it up just in time before her momentum carried her out of bounds. The lead back to 13 quickly for the home team. And another 10-second violation. That full court pressure, just too much to deal with for the Mountaineers in this second quarter. It's the 3rd or 4th time in the quarter alone that we've seen Trinity force that type of turnover. $15 turnovers in the game now for the visitors. Here's Shipley on the elbow, kicks it out to Henry. Good ball movement here from the Tigers. Long goes back to Henry. Now Shipley will drive. Looks for the left-handed layup off the back of the rim. And the relentless Maggie Shipley trying to track the ball down. Cross throws it up from inside the lane and commits a foul against Simmons, trying to make up for the miss. It's her first foul, but it's the 7th, I believe, in the quarter. And so Simmons will have 2 looks from the free throw line. Under a minute to go here. A game which on paper you'd expect to be a lot closer, with Schreiner coming in second place in the conference at 5-1. They had 4 games canceled, including against conference leading Colorado College, as that one just won't go and falls off the rim for Simmons. And they also don't play Austin College in their regular season schedule, as Cross gives that one up, and chance for Trinity to further extend their lead. Leong draws the contact, and she'll head to the line. So despite the good record, obviously the signs were there with a low field goal percentage as a team this season and under 70 points a game as well. But it was an untested team. Their wins came against Southwestern and Centenary, as well as University of Dallas, who inflicted their only defeat last time out, 54-52. But last time out was 20 days ago on February 6th. Due to weather and COVID concerns, it's been a while for the Mountaineers. Of course, Trinity also had games on the 19th and 20th canceled against Southwestern, as well as a game previous to that against Austin College, scratched from the schedule. .26 seconds to go here in the first half. Trinity leading 42-28. Schreiner looking to take something with them into the break. Zara Cross up against Sam Henry. Crossover back onto the right hand, penetrates the lane, has her shot blocked, rejected by Kelly Simmons, throws it ahead to Sam Henry, who will pull it out and wait for the last shot. 3 seconds on the clock. Shipley into the lane, flips it up with the left hand, and good, and that'll do it for the first half of play here in CalGuard Gymnasium. Trinity leads 44-28. We'll be right back with you in just about 15 minutes for the second half of action. I'm Ryan Figert, and you're watching the Tiger Network. So we welcome you back here with just about a minute to go until the second half gets back underway. Take you through the statistics from the first half as Trinity holds a 44-28 lead, despite shooting just 38% on 16 of 42 in comparison to Schreiner's 46% on 12 of 26. The big story, though, 16 turnovers for the Mountaineers to 3 for Trinity, as well as 3 offensive rebounds for the visitors compared to 12 for the home team. Leading the scoring for Trinity's Haley Coleman with 13 points on 4 of 8 shooting and 5 of 5 from the free throw line. Shipley with 8, as well as Jordan Rudd with 8 for Trinity. And for Schreiner, Hernandez leads the way with 7 points. Williams, Ibarra, and Cross with 4. And Odi Budu with 5 points on 1 of 2 shooting and 3 of 3 from the free throw line. We're back underway here. Schreiner ball for the first time here in the second half. Cross receives the pass, goes to Budu, who dribbled out of bounds, and there's yet another turnover. Now they decided that Coleman was the reason that Budu was pushed out of bounds, and so they call a foul against the Kansas City, Missouri native. Ackerman, though, tips this pass and does, in fact, turn over the Mountaineers. Going coast to coast, Julia Ackerman with the right hand. And the Trinity lead now extended to 18. Another pass tipped in the backcourt as Cross runs into Emily Daniel, who stays down. I think she took some, maybe head-to-head contact, some type of contact to the head. And both players struggling coming away from that collision. Daniel will come out just to check how she's feeling. Looks like Cross will stay in the game. Sam Henry came in to replace Daniel. Zara Cross, who leads the Mountaineers in minutes a game, also leads them in scoring with 13, adding 4 assists and 2 boards per game so far this year as well. There she is. Swings it to the left wing for 3. No good that time for Jocelyn Hernandez. And the Mountaineers can't respond. Here's Coleman. Gets an open look from just inside the key. And the leading scorer, or at least percentage-wise, the most efficient scorer in the SCAC, strikes again. Milton looking to trap in the backcourt. Mountaineers able to advance it this time, as they did in the first quarter. It was the second quarter where things started to go wrong and the turnover started to add up. That time, Rudd called for a foul. It was 24 apiece at the end of the first quarter, and Schreiner put up just 4 points in that second frame, yet to score so far in the third. That time turned over by Sydney Williams, who didn't play much of the first half due to foul trouble, and she's called for a foul here once again, trying to reach in and steal it away from Haley Coleman. And she has hardly seen the floor. The senior leader for this team, leading rebounder in the conference, doesn't look like she'll be hitting her usual numbers on the boards tonight. As she departs once again. Jordan Rudd, dribble on the right hand, kicks it to Milton. Open look from the right corner, just too strong, and Coleman can't corral the offensive board. So the Mountaineers look to go with pace, but Sam Henry's in the right place at the right time and draws the charge. Gabby Ibarra just got a head of steam going, and Sam Henry stepped in the way, took the contact, and it's Trinity ball. Daniel comes back into the game. Good to see. Jordan Rudd getting a well-deserved rest. 8 points, 3 boards, 3 assists for the senior point guard as she takes a seat. Milton, the runner in the lane, no good. And called over the back, going for the offensive rebound. Trinity going to have to be careful. I think that's already 4 fouls on the home team in this quarter. Number 3, excuse me. Schreiner have only shot 3 free throws in the game, made all of them. Trinity 10 of 17 in comparison. Cross with the bounce pass to advance it here. Finds Onibudu. Back to Cross on the right wing, into the corner with Hernandez. Hernandez drops it off, and that's good ball movement, finding Onibudu underneath. 7 points now for Budu. Daniel had an open look, wanted to go into Coleman, instead finds Milton. Coleman still jockeying for a position down low. The ball goes back to Daniel, who pulls for the long 2. And she hasn't had her shooting stroke ever since the start of the game, when she scored just 1 or 2 seconds into tonight's matchup, controlling the tip-off and going and turning it into 2 points. She's since gone 0 of 7. Avoids the travel there with the 1 bounce dribble and drops it back to Sam Henry. Ackerman, big switch to Daniel, who wanted to catch and shoot, couldn't control the pass. And it's turned over to Jocelyn Hernandez. Zara Cross finds a teammate. Good ball movement here from the Mountaineers. Back to Cross, penetrates in the lane and is fouled. Although instead say that Milton draws the charge here once again. It's good hustle plays from Trinity in this third quarter. As Shipley and Rudd come back into the game for Daniel and Milton. Last year, the Mountaineers finished the regular season by falling to this Trinity team twice. Here's Shipley at the top of the key, dumps it off for Haley Coleman, and she says, look what I found. Puts it up and in for 2. In those games last season, Holland, Rudd, Daniel, Coleman, and Milton all had 10-plus points in both matchups, as Trinity turned it on against the Mountaineers. Coleman draws a foul. Azalea Pirtle whistled for the infraction. Pirtle's 3rd foul and the 4th against the Mountaineers, as we're just about halfway through the quarter. Looks like it's going to be free throws at some point for Trinity. Big switch pass from Ackerman to Rudd for 3. And just not enough on the shot. Comes off the front of the rim. Cross. Her pass intercepted by Shipley. Henry was out in front of the defense, but they didn't find her, and instead miscommunication between Shipley and Rudd results in a turnover. Ball runs out on the far side. Not the first time we've seen that today between those two. Important for Trinity to get a couple of wins here and go ahead of Schreiner for seeding in the tournament and for the opportunity to host 1 or 2 rounds of the SCAC tournament. Not usually something that's up for grabs during the regular season, but in this shortened season and in the extended SCAC tournament, the higher seeds will host, and we'll hope to have some of those games this coming weekend on the Tiger Network. Currently, Trinity 50, Schreiner 32. Timeout on the floor. Shipley, Simmons, Ackerman, Rudd, and Henry on the floor for Coach Hill coming out of the timeout. Tate, Pirtle, Williams, Hernandez, and Vieira to inbound on the floor for the visiting Mountaineers. Trailing by 18 and not helping out their cause here as they throw the inbounds pass into the backcourt. Single digits now on the shot clock as they get it to Williams down low, flips it towards the basket with the left hand and controls the offensive rebound. Back to Williams, down low. Haven't seen much of her because of foul trouble. She fights through the contact from Simmons and scoops to score with the left hand. And that's what the Mountaineers have been missing for a majority of this one. Simmons pulls the mid-range jumper from the baseline, no good. Williams controls the rebound. Her fourth of the game, averages double digits, almost 12. Rudd, left-handed dribble on the drive, drops it off to Ackerman for three. Straight away look is straight through the net. Her second make from behind the arc. Be a good sign for Trinity fans as her scoring has gone down this season. Contributes in so many ways on the court, but in previous years it was 6+ points a game as well. This year that hasn't been the case, but she's back in amongst the points tonight. 8 points on 3 of 3 shooting, including 2 of 2 from behind the arc. As I mentioned, Williams with the offensive rebound. No good, though, on the follow-up. But even in limited minutes, we've seen here what Williams can do on the boards. Battling against Simmons, and this time against Shipley, who's able to roll around her and score. Not much that Williams can do on 3 fouls. 21-point lead for Trinity. Schreiner just at 34 points as we're under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Tate with the ball, top of the arc. Pirtle swings it to Vieira. Vieira in the corner. Back to Tate. Look for Pirtle from the corner is good in response. Schreiner with a 3 of their own. A couple successful trips down the floor in a row here for the Mountaineers. Sweet feet there from Sam Henry and the dribble to match, but the finish couldn't put the exclamation point on the move. Shipley getting on the floor to tie it up against Williams. And the possession arrow is with Trinity. So look to add to their 18-point advantage with possession here. Coming back into the game, Ariana Falks, first year from Killeen, Texas. In for Elena Tate, sophomore out of Waco. Kalu Leong, also off the bench for Ackerman. And it's Henry that brings it up the court for the Tigers. Bounce pass to Leong off the bench. Shipley working at the elbow here. Goes down low for Simmons. Looks to draw contact from Williams, but the defending was good. It was straight up and forced the miss from Simmons. Pass nearly tipped away by Trinity, but instead tipped behind. It'll stay with the Mountaineers. We're still out shooting the Tigers by percentage, but have shot the ball 19 less times so far in this game. Into the game for the first time, Claire Hale, sophomore forward from right here in San Antonio, Texas. See her at the right of your screen, number 24, defending on the ball here. Switches on to Pirtle. Good bounce pass from Williams down into the lane, and the finish comes from Ariana Falks just into the game. Williams making a big impact here in the third quarter as Schreiner looks to mount a comeback. Still find themselves down 16. There have been positive signs in this quarter compared to what was a dismal second frame, putting up just 4 points in 10 minutes. Good ball movement here from the visitors. Falk looks to get underneath, and it won't fall. $11 points apiece so far in this quarter. And off the bench, and one opportunity here for Claire Hale. Drew the contact and finished inside. She'll get a chance to make it 3 here, as Trinity are in the bonus for the final minute of the frame. And Claire Hale's free throw is perfect. Trinity probably with as many three-point plays today as they do three-pointers, as Shipley is whistled for a foul in the backcourt. Getting it done the old-fashioned way. Vieira to inbound as Rudd looked to catch her opposite number 23 off guard. Jocelyn Hernandez was alert though and received the pass, and Shipley called for another foul, this time a blocking foul. Maggie Shipley, the transfer from Amherst, originally out of Arlington, Virginia, will have to take a seat here as Ashlyn Milton re-enters the game. Falks with 2 shots as the Mountaineers now in the bonus. First one is good. Off to the right on the second attempt from Falks. And the Tigers' lead is 18. Milton looking to make it 21. Rattles out on the three-pointer from the right wing. Williams secured the board, and Vieira brought it clear. Skip pass from Hernandez. And not sure if they whistled for a foul or looks like it just went out of bounds as Claire Hale hit the deck. She'll be the one to inbound it to Jordan Rudd in the backcourt for the Tigers. Rudd over to Hale, to Milton, looking for the corner 3. Comes off the front of the rim. Rudd looked to keep it alive. But Vieira, some good dribbling in the backcourt and draws a foul. So she'll be headed to the line with 8 seconds to go. Good energy that time from Alyssa Vieira, junior guard out of Corpus Christi, Texas. Ran the length of the floor herself before drawing the foul. First one no good. Coach Hill talking to Jordan Rudd about the plan for after this free throw attempt. 8 seconds left in the quarter. Second one is good. Tigers will have to go with some pace here. It's Rudd. Dribbles into the front court. Simmons to Hale. Finds a look for Leong from the corner for 3. And a chance to put an exclamation point on the third quarter is no good. Trinity adds to their lead now at 58-41. Schreiner with some work to do in the fourth quarter when we come back. So Schreiner has the ball, and they've got a mountain to climb here. Down 17 points with 10 minutes to go. They look to hold on to the second place spot in the SCAC. Cross dribbles to her right. Mountaineers look to move the ball, but pass tipped by Claire Hale and controlled by Emily Daniel. Another turnover. Quick shot clock malfunction as our cross takes the opportunity to tire shoot and will inbound from the side. Rudd gets it back from Daniel. Skip pass to Claire Hale, steps into the three, too strong. And the Tigers will retreat. Trap in the corner. Voodoo keeps it alive and gets it back. Shot fake to get past Claire Hale. And called for a travel. She looked to split the double team. Rudd facing a trap here in the backcourt, able to advance it. Dumps it off to Milton, who gets the runner to go inside the lane. Trinity reached the 60-point mark. Voodoo underneath. Gets the contact off Haley Coleman. And she'll head to the line. She is a perfect 3 of 3 so far tonight. First one bounces home. It's been a matchup between what was coming into this game, the two best scoring defenses in the conference. Trinity have beat the average points against Schreiner, which was 51 coming into tonight. Trinity giving up about 54 a game as Rudd finds a wide open Claire Hale underneath. 5 points now for her off the bench. Trinity have certainly bucked the trend of Schreiner holding teams to around 50 points. That's what many would have expected. Trinity picked to finish second in the conference this season behind Austin College. Schreiner currently occupy that spot, but a couple of wins this weekend for Trinity, and they could reclaim what they'll say is rightfully theirs. Haley Coleman is good on the jumper from inside the lane. Voodoo ahead to Ibarra. Ibarra with the long two, too strong. Williams gets the offensive rebound and draws the contact from Claire Hale. So Williams will head to the line. 7 rebounds, 8 rebounds for her in limited minutes as she's been playing with 3 fouls since halfway through the third quarter. We didn't see much of her at all in the first half. She picked up 2 early infractions. She makes both at the line. Now 8 points and 8 boards. 2 assists and 3 fouls for Williams. Hale, the intended recipient of that pass, but bounces out of play. Trinity, who were perfect in the turnover department after 1.5 quarters. Certainly had a few, but the Mountaineers have had more as Hale strips it and goes the other way, and an easy finish for her. Left side, right hand, 2 points. Milton comes away with it once again, another steal for the Tigers. And Milton called for a carry. Milton can't believe it. Coach Hill can't believe it. Hale called for a foul here in the backcourt. I believe that's 3 on her. No, just her second. Hale getting about 9 minutes a game, is above that now in some second half action tonight. Rudd, after defending against Zara Cross. And a double team here as Milton comes across, and she's whistled for a foul. That'll send Vieira to the line. Milton's third. Cross gets the inbound pass. Under 7 to play here in Calgary Gymnasium. A good bounce pass down low, and Williams finishes. Double digits now for the senior. Rudd thought she drew contact there, looking for the blocking foul, but instead they'll say she stepped out of bounds first. Coach Hill incensed about the decision from the referees. It'll be Schreiner ball. Nine turnovers now for Trinity. 28 for Schreiner. Be hard to win any game with 28 turnovers. Good work from Williams to return the pass to Falks. Williams wants the mid-range J, no good. Might have been a different story if we were able to see more of Sydney Williams, particularly in the second quarter when Schreiner allowed Trinity to build the lead. There she is again on the boards. Looking to go coast to coast. Falks has her shot blocked by Coleman. Coleman snubbed there on the attempt to help up her opponent. As Ackerman comes back into the game for Emily Daniel. Rudd switches over to the left hand, takes advantage of the space in front of her, dumps it off for Coleman, who wants to go with the right hand. She's fouled by Zara Cross on the way up. Smart foul there by Cross, but Coleman so far is 5 for 5 from the line. So we'll see if she can make it count. 19 points for her, looking to make it 20 on the night. First one makes it a 20-point lead for Trinity and a 20-point night for Haley Coleman. 21, 6 boards, and 1 assist. She was amongst the group that scored 10-plus in both matchups against the Mountaineers last season, and she's struck once again here against the visitors from Kerrville. Pass thrown ahead here to Milton. Spins it onto her left side, shooting over that left shoulder, and making it 70 on the night for the Tigers. Relentless pressure defensively from the home team as Hernandez picks up her dribble in the backcourt. Milton nearly makes her pay, and in fact she does, as the whistle comes in once again for a 10-second violation. Ava Limoncello in for the first time tonight. Milton back to the bench. There's Limoncello. Dumps it off to Coleman. He's now jockeying for position underneath. Instead comes out towards the arc. Kicks it all the way to Limoncello from the opposite corner off the bench. And her stroke is true. Some players that haven't seen a ton of time on the floor for Coach Hill this season have shown well tonight in limited minutes. Claire Hale, now Limoncello. There's a foul there as there was jockeying for position underneath. Pirtle will be shooting when we return. Media timeout as Trinity leads 73-47, under 5 to play in San Antonio. Plenty of changes for Trinity coming out of the timeout as Maggie Robbins into the game for the first time. In the backcourt with Limoncello, Ackerman, Jennifer Tierney, and Claire Hale round out the 5 on the court for Coach Hill. Pirtle's first free throw, no good. Second one is on the mark. So we see the future of the Tigers between Tierney and Robbins in the backcourt and the front court. Skip pass all the way to the substitute Putnam, just into the game for Ackerman. Sit back to Robbins, into the lane, dumps it off for Claire Hale, who's been automatic off the bench. And a quick assist for Robbins. 2 more points for Claire Hale. That time, a good move to get to the basket from Gabby Ibarra, sidestepping the aforementioned Claire Hale, but she went with the right hand, making the finish a little more difficult. And the shot was no good. It's going to be Schreiner ball to inbound here underneath the basket. Inbounded to Hernandez. She's fouled on the shot. Limoncello whistled for the foul. Jocelyn Hernandez to the line. So we'll see these two teams back in action tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And we'll see what adjustments that Coach Samantha Davis will make for the Mountaineers. A split for them on the road here in San Antonio would be a big result, but they're going to have to really make some adjustments and limit turnovers tomorrow, something they weren't able to do today. Handed back to Robbins, driving the floor, getting to the basket here, and look to finish with the right hand, no good. Tierney for 3, just off to the left. Looked good. We saw her in the inter-squad scrimmage. I don't believe we've seen her at home, at least, so far in the season proper, as that one rattles home for Williams. But she was able to knock down some threes in that inter-squad scrimmage, and Josh Moxagimba and I were impressed by what she brought to the team. Good to see her getting minutes tonight. What is the final series of the regular season for Trinity. SCAC Championship Tournament coming up next weekend. Pirtle's 4th foul is going to send Addison Putnam to the line. And Claire Hale will take a seat here for Gilliott. Assuming that's her last action, Hale departs with 4 of 5 shooting, 9 points. Very impressive minutes for her off the bench. 2 steals as well. Second one no good there for Putnam. And the pressure that time applied at half court. Here's Putnam going the other way, and her shot is blocked from behind on the chase down from Gabby Ibarra, who was looking to make amends for the giveaway. The Mountaineers have been charitable, especially in the backcourt. Seen a ton of 10-second violations and a ton of tip passes leading to easy points for Trinity. And that's why we find ourselves at 76-52 with 3:18 to go in the final quarter. We'll be right back from San Antonio in just a moment. Schreiner taking a little longer to get out of the timeout here so we can see how Trinity is going to set up for the inbounds play. Here come the Mountaineers. Same 5 out there for Coach Hill. Coach Hill in his 9th season, looking for his 5th SCAC championship. As out of the inbounds pass, they get a corner 3 look for Anna Gilliott. And her first shot of the game is good. That far corner has been a profitable place for the Tigers in the 4th quarter. Robbins gets a hand on the ball. She gets the last hand on the ball. She pokes it out of bounds. Tate, top of the arc. Gets it back from Hernandez. There's Pirtle playing with 4 fouls. Oh, it was almost good ball movement from the Mountaineers. You saw the vision for Abigail Zions getting her first action of the game. She couldn't complete the pass. Gilliott inbounds to Robbins. Back to Gilliott. Tigers break the press. Here's Putnam. Left-handed dribble, puts it on the floor. Back out to Limoncello, too strong. Limoncello, the one furthest back defending here, as it's thrown over her head and put in by Azalea Pirtle. Robbins, good pass to advance it. Addison Putnam, back to Robbins. 2 minutes to go in the game. 25-point lead for Trinity. Looking for a big win to move up in the SCAC standings. Robin gets it back and finds Tierney in the lane and gets the kind bounce for her first 2 points in CalGuard Gymnasium. Official points. I'm sure she has hundreds so far in practice. Tate. The entry pass into Zayats. Turns, shoots, gets the foul, and gets the bucket to go. Another 3-point opportunity for the Mountaineers. Tierney whistled for the foul. And 2 more Tigers coming into the game. Molly Pretty and Brittany Goodwin. Three-point play not converted by Zions. Limoncello with the strong drive to the basket, met with equal force at the rim. And that'll be a block for Zions. Tierney controls the rebound, uses her size well. Listed at 5'11". Could be pushing for 6 foot. Maybe next year's roster. Here's a look for three off the bench. That's usually been resulting in a make as players have come off the Tiger bench to good effect. But that time it was no good for Molly Pretty. Tierney gets a steal, has it swatted out of her hands, but it'll stay Tiger ball. 44 seconds to play. It was back and forth in the first quarter. The Tigers built their advantage in the second and didn't look back as the layup won't go for Pretty. And there's a whistle here. Not sure why. Not a foul as Schreiner are in the bonus, so they'd be shooting. Couple subs made by the Mountaineers for the final 26 seconds. It's only a Tate. Vieira swings it back to Falks. Falks in the lane. And no kind bounce for her that time as Gilliott controls the rebound and brings it clear. Trinity subs looking to grab some points of their own. It's Limoncello for three. And it's good with 4.6 seconds to go. And that should do it. A heave at the buzzer comes up short for the Mountaineers, who come up short in a big way here. 28-point win for Trinity, 84-56. In the losing effort, Schreiner led in scoring by Sydney Williams with 12 points on 5 of 11 shooting and 10 rebounds, getting a double-double. Boudou and Hernandez add 9, Pirtle adds 8, and Schreiner's 56. For Trinity, tons of scoring going on, and their 84 points, Haley Coleman led the way with 21 points on 7 of 12 shooting, a perfect 7 of 7 from the free throw line, and 6 rebounds as well. Milton and Shipley also in double digits with 10. It was a fun one, and we hope you'll continue with us here on the Tiger Network, where in about an hour we'll have the men's side of things. Coach Jimmy Smith against one of his former teams. And what is a grudge match for Trinity. Schreiner knocking them out of the SCAC tournament last year, inflicting 3 defeats on them in a row at the end of the year. They'll be eager to get back at the Mountaineers. That is coming up at 8 o'clock, and we hope you'll join us for that one. But for now, Trinity wins 84-56 on the Tiger Network.